This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Hello and welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Right, okay, so Sharjah is popping right now. And what's happening is the Sharjah Women's Cup is starting again on the 18th of November. It's the 17th edition. Why is this interesting? Because we've got so many initiatives within this, which is, let's say, post-COVID, which is bringing people back together again, obviously within social distancing, for a healthy cause. The sporting event will bring together female employees from Sharjah's government to be able to spend the day getting active, being healthy. Sharjah Women's Sports is organizing this to be able to encourage women to get active, to raise awareness on the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. So I'm very, very excited to be able to speak to Alyazia Alsuwaidi on the show today, who is a basketball player. She's also someone who is a coach, a CrossFit coach, and now she's part of the Sharjah Sporting Committee regarding development in sport, which is fantastic. Really, really great to see that. Last time I spoke to her was in Serbia when she was on camp with the national team, and now she is taking part in organizing this tournament with a great team in Sharjah. So this is what's going to happen today. What we're going to do is we're going to connect with her, and then once we do that, we're going to speak to her about how things have been for her since January, and also what can we expect on the 18th of November in the Sharjah Women's Cup. Very excited. Running, basketball, and shooting involved in this. So let's see how the women do. I'm sure they're going to kill it. It's going to be great. So make sure you stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in. The last time I spoke to this guest, she was on camp in Serbia. She's a professional basketball player. She's a trainer. She's involved in sports development for the Sharjah Women's Sport. I'm very excited to welcome Alyazia Alsuwaidi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me again, Amar. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
It's lovely to have you back on the waves with us here at Pulse 95. The last time we spoke, you were on camp in Serbia. Is that right?
Yes. Last time we spoke, it was in January. We were getting ready for a tournament happening in Sharjah in February. And we were talking when I was in my training camp with my team, Sharjah Women's Sports, preparing for the Arab Women's Sports Tournament.
Oh boy, it feels like a long time ago, huh?
Feels like it's been ages.
And a lot has happened since then. Tell me, one of the things I was impressed about when I spoke to you the first time was your mindset. Tell me how things have evolved for you since we spoke in January.
Since we spoke in January, I was very distracted in February getting into the tournament. Right after that, it goes from being very, very hyped to being very excited, being very fit, into all of a sudden being in quarantine and being away from everyone. So going from this to that really, really quick was a bit weird for me as an athlete. I had to take a few steps back, slow down a bit, knowing that this is going to be happening for the next few months or at least the next year. I had to write down new goals to figure out what my plans are going to be for the year. So that's what happened post the Arab tournament. Currently, I am working in Sharjah Women's Sports. This is officially my second month working here.
How's it going?
Well, it's really good. I'm not going to lie. Being in a working environment is completely different than being in... So I have a part-time job where I am a CrossFit coach. And then being in that environment, which I considered my job, is different than having a desk job, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So going from this to that in a matter of a few days was a lot for me to bear mentally. I am doing well, alhamdulillah. I'm very happy with that. The type of work is something I enjoy. It's just a bit different. Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like you have a different cap for each role, you know? So 1 second you're a coach, the next second you're a basketball player, the next second you're involved in development. That's a lot to take on.
Exactly.
Right?
It is. And Sorry, and
Go ahead.
so my office is a few steps away from the basketball court where I practice.
No way.
So I literally go from staring at a screen for hours into going into the court. It's a door away, and then I go into practice and I practice with my team.
Wow.
So imagine how my face has to change. Like, I literally take off my hat, put on another one.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what? This is how I visualize it. I'm a visual person, okay? So I visualize it. You're sitting on the desk, you're on the computer, you're typing, and then all of a sudden, you go over there.
Exactly.
And then there's the court, there's the form of escapism where you get to express yourself. And we've spoken about that on the show. That side of you, has that surprised you post-COVID? When it comes down to how much you're capable of doing when you transition from coach to 9 to 5 to basketball player?
See, I enjoy being a workaholic, and I consider my whole day being my job, whether even training and being a coach, that's all still part of my job. I enjoy moving from one thing to another in a matter of a few minutes. I enjoy having to put on my different caps. Mm-hmm. I feel like I transition from one thing to another very well. Mm-hmm. So post-COVID, it's been very, very different because I don't know even how to explain it because of how different and weird COVID has been to us. Mm. It's just been a lot for us to handle mentally and physically. Yeah. But, we're up for the challenge as athletes. We knew that something was going to happen since January. We've been hearing about it since last year. So just preparing for that has been the hardest part, I think. Preparing for that physically and mentally.
Well, that's a different opponent for you. Hi, Alyazia.
Exactly. One I cannot defeat.
Hey,
sadly.
No, one you will defeat, inshallah. One you
Inshallah.
Coming up next, we talked to Alyazia about this super Sharjah Women's Cup that's coming up on the 18th of November on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Thank you very much for tuning in on Pulse 95, pulse95radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or even if you're chilling at home watching us live on the YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio. I'm delighted to have Alyazia Alsuwaidi on the show. Actually, a good friend of mine. I'd like to say that as well, because I feel like there's been so much happening since January. I've seen her as a basketball player. I've seen her as a coach. And now I'm seeing her as someone who's involved in sports development in Sharjah Women's Sport. Alyazia, Sharjah Women's Cup starts on the 18th of November. I'm excited. There's basketball, shooting and running. What can we expect from this tournament?
So Sharjah Women's Sports Cup, as you said, is going to be held on the 18th of November. Mm-hmm. We have got 3 different sports, and we have organized this as careful as we can due to COVID. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about basketball for an example. The girls are going to be competing against themselves only. It won't be your typical basketball game where they will be shooting and their score will be out of 10 or 5. And as soon as that person is done, they move on to either their next event, their next activity, or they're done for the day, depending on what they prefer. The goal of this event is to get different women from different organizations in Sharjah, public or private, to be involved in sports, for them to change their routine up, for them to get involved in fitness, for them to learn more about fitness. And that is why we do Sharjah Women's Sports Cup every year.
That's amazing, because there's so many things. It's breaking barriers, it's breaking stereotypes. It's encouraging health and well-being. How long is this? And I know it happens every year, but how long does this take part for?
So all of these events will only be for one day. Mm-hmm. It is going to be held from 9 a.m. up to 6 p.m. Wow. All of these events will be within that same time limit. Mm-hmm. And They just come in whenever they want. We have a waiting area that is very, very wide. There are like at least 2 meters between each person for them to wait and then go into their next activity.
Excellent. It sounds quite well organized as well, respecting obviously social distancing and being able to allow people to be comfortable within obviously the large spaces that you have. How encouraging has it been to be able to run such a competition during unprecedented times? It must feel like such an accomplishment for Sharjah.
Yes, I am very, very proud of Sharjah Women's Sports for organizing this event very, very well. They have thought of every little detail you can imagine, from where participants can leave their stuff, from what they're going to be touching, from the sanitizing crew, from people moving from one station to another. Everything is thought of very, very, very well. And like I said, we just want girls to be very comfortable. We want them to get the most out of this, and we want to be as safe as possible.
And winners will receive virtual cup and certificates of appreciation, which is another thing that I really liked about reading into this. This was something that, there are no losers in this tournament. Everyone's a winner.
Yes, that is what we love about this, because let's be very honest, this isn't a competitive tournament. It is a more fun, yet a bit of a competitive tournament, I guess you can say. It is honestly about getting them involved in these sports that we offer. And everyone gets their certificate. The winning organization will get their cup sent to them at work.
Nice, very nice. And see, I think the challenge in itself, because of the unprecedented times, has been to get everyone together. So that in itself is a win. And I'm happy that you're behind the scenes with the great team that you have over there, making this happen, because it's a great initiative for women to get involved. And also it's a great way to, I don't want to say get back to normal, but I want to say get back to a routine, which has been very difficult to sustain over the last 10 months.
Exactly. So especially coming back from COVID, people have been so distant from training and the gyms and being doing any sort of physical activity. So we just wanted to add that bit of, we wanted that to be back in their routine, whether they liked it or not, basically. So it's so nice having this as part of your routine, and we wanted this to be part of their working schedule. So that is why it is in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day.
Alyazia Alsuwaidi, as always, it's always a pleasure to have you on the Halftime Show on Pulse 95. It's been good to catch up with you as well. I'm very happy, and hopefully we're going to hear many more great things from you, and you'll tell us about, months and months of working with Sharjah Women's Cup and sport. And thank you for taking the time out. I really appreciate it.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori, and there you have it, folks. A great show, very, very different spin-off to it. Sharjah Women's Cup is happening. Thinking about what Alyazia said today on the show was really interesting, because, things obviously have been very, very challenging for a lot of people. She spoke about her personal life since January, how she's had to adapt, how she has different caps as well, which was very, very cool. Being able to go from a 9 to 5 to the basketball court right in front of you. It's almost like your office within an office, which was fantastic. We also got to say that, the organizers as well, Nada Asghar al-Naqbi, Director General of the Sharjah Women's Sport, called on working women to seize the opportunity to put their athleticism to the test. And by having this initiative is great, because it encourages women to get involved in sport. That was excellent. The competitions have been designed to cater all levels of skill. So women, when you're listening to this, it's open for everyone. Anyone can get involved. It was very, very cool. And the whole point is to encourage a healthy lifestyle. So at the end of the day, through various sports and competitions, we're able to see something positive, something uplifting as well, and something that we kind of need as well in Sharjah. So well done to everyone in Sharjah Women's Sport. Fantastic Monday. It's going to be great on the 18th as well. Get involved and make sure you support as well. Guys, take care. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Same time, Wednesday, 3 to 4 on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.